Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Friday Flow with Ellen. We're going to get a nice, good stretch today. Also a good workout. We're going to start in a seated position. So if you are just hopping on, welcome. And if you are not from the site that I work at FOHO, so if you're from any other site, please make sure to drop your site name into the chat box. That would be wonderful. And we're going to find a comfortable seated position on our mat. So as you can see, I'm seated on, I have a yoga block, and you can also use a rolled up towel or a pillow. This just helps to elevate the hips a little bit if you're feeling a little extra tight in some of those areas, your hips or your back. So welcome. I'm so glad you guys are all here this Friday morning. So we're going to start off with a little more stretching, seated. We'll stand up and do some stretching, and then we're going to move into a flow. So it won't be as advanced or as hard as it was last week. I know we practiced a really challenging balance pose. We are going to practice a different balancing pose today. This is a 15-minute class, so hopefully you all can stay with me until 9:20. If you have to drop off early, that is quite all right as well. So let's go ahead and just start by closing our eyes. And go ahead and place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And just take note of how we are feeling this morning. And maybe setting an intention for our workout or for our practice this morning. Meaning, maybe we want to really focus on stretching out those hips because they've been really tight all week, or we're going to focus our attention onto opening our shoulders. So maybe think about one area that you'd like to work on, focusing your energy and your breath through that area. As we go through our stretching this morning, with every exhale, you want to find a little bit more space in the body, a little bit more length. So feel the chest and the belly rise as you inhale, and feel your hips become a little more grounded into the floor as you exhale out. And we'll just take 2 more deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and then 1 more deep breath. Sitting up nice and tall on that inhale, letting it go on that exhale. And we'll slowly open our eyes. We'll take our hands down to our mat. We're going to start with some shoulder shrugs. So on your next inhale, you're going to bring those shoulders all the way up to your ears. And then exhale, we're just going to let them go. So let's do that 2 more times. Big shoulder shrug. Shoulders all the way up to those ears. And then exhale, let it go. 1 more time. All the way up. And release. So let's turn this into a shoulder roll. So up, down, and back. So really exaggerating this movement, bringing those shoulders up to your ears, taking them back, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and then letting them drop. So let's do 1 more towards the back. And then we're going to reverse that direction. So up and around. We're going to do 1 more in this direction, nice and easy. All right, so now we're going to open up our palms and take our hands down to our side. So as we inhale, we're going to reach those arms all the way up. And maybe you tilt your head back here an inch to take your gaze up towards your fingers. And then exhale, we're going to take them back down. So we're going to keep those palms facing up so that we encourage our shoulders to stay open. Inhale, let's do this again. Take your gaze to those fingertips and then exhale down. So being mindful of any injuries you may have, whether that's shoulder, hip, back, or knee, and listening to your body. Inhale up and exhale. Inhale up and exhale. So let's do 1 more. Big deep breath, and then exhale. Okay, so we're gonna add a little bit of a twist here. So let's take those arms back up. Nice deep breath, inhale. And as we exhale, we're gonna twist to that left side. And we're gonna allow those arms to come down. This time our palms face down. We take our fingertips to the floor, sit up nice and tall. And then inhale, let's bring those arms back up to the center. We rotate to the front, and then exhale, we twist to the right. So in this first round, I'm just gonna hold the twist for a breath on each side. Inhale, come back up, and exhale. So this time, let's hold it for a couple more breaths. We're twisting over that left shoulder. Want you to think of finding length in your spine here. And with every exhale, you're finding a little more space and a little more rotation through that shoulder. So one more breath. Inhale, bring it back up. And exhale. And hold this here. So anytime our arms lift overhead, a great variation is bending your elbows if that bothers your shoulders or your neck. So I'll show you in just a moment. Let's do one more breath here. And then inhale, you're gonna bring those arms back up. And then exhale, down. Great. So for anyone that has shoulder or neck injuries, like myself, this motion is hard. So you can sort of cut it in half, right? And just bend your elbows anytime we're lifting those arms up. We will be doing that a lot later. Okay, so just kind of shake it out here. We're gonna do one more seated. This is sort of like a cat-cow. You can stay right there. I just want to turn my body so you can watch from the side. We're going to really exaggerate this movement here. And feel free to switch up your seated position if you need to. So hands are on our knees here. Okay, so we're going to take an inhale. And as we exhale, I want you to sort of slide your hands further down, tuck your chin into your chest, and round your spine. So you're gonna draw that belly button in towards your spine. Now, as we inhale, your hands are gonna slide towards your hips. Your elbows go back and you press your chest forward. So you see that big change there. We arch the back. We lift up through the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then exhale, we sort of round and fall back forward. So it's a little bit easier if you think of just sliding your hands on your legs. So inhale, we slide them back. We lift through the chest and then exhale. So play around with this a little bit. Maybe you slow it down. Maybe you speed it up. I'm doing this in a cross-legged position. Keep moving, but you could also do this on your shins. So I'm just going to switch my seated position because my hips were telling me it was time to switch positions. And we'll do two more here. So again, really exaggerating that movement. Inhale, it's all in that lower back. And exhale, we'll do it one more time. And then we'll do a real cat-cow on our hands and knees. And exhale. All right, great. Let's now transition to cat-cow on our hands and knees. So you can move your pillow or block off to the side. You're gonna take those hands and place them right underneath your shoulders. And your knees are right underneath your hips here. So just like we did seated, inhale, we do that arch. So our belly drops to the mat. We lift our chest up. And as we exhale, we bring that chin into our chest and we round the spine. Inhale, we lift and exhale. So why don't you go through this a couple of times, maybe fast or slow, maybe adding in some little circles. Make it your own. I'm just going to come up to the screen, make sure everyone is doing okay. So nice cat-cow. Should feel nice on the back. Great. So I sometimes like to make little hip circles while I'm here. It just feels good on my back. Nice. What a beautiful day it is. I see all the sunlight coming through your windows. Love it. Okay, so you're going to do one more cat-cow. And then you're just going to find a nice neutral spine. Okay, so We are going to continue stretching for just a bit, but I do want us to start to warm up our core muscles. So we're going to lift our right arm off the floor. You're going to extend it long. Remember that option for the shoulder. Remember, you just cut that in half by bending your elbow, okay? And then you're going to extend your left leg at the same time. So it's an opposite arm and leg, okay? So maybe your knee is a little bit bent, but again, we want to try to lengthen through the arm, through the leg. I want you to go ahead and tuck your hips under. Hold this for one more breath, and then slowly come back down, okay? So let's do it on the other side. Make sure to keep your gaze at the top of your mat so our head doesn't lift up or go down. So first, make sure your neck is nice and long. Let's extend that left arm without moving anything else if you can, and then your right leg. You might wobble a little bit. I want you to breathe here. So we're holding the pose, not our breath. Hold this. Now go ahead and add a little pelvic tilt, meaning tuck those lower abs, tuck your hips under a little bit, like you're trying to squeeze into a pair of tight pants. Hold this for one more breath, and then slowly lower. So that tuck is sort of engaging those core muscles a little bit. All right, so take a look at my screen for just a second here. So notice my back is slightly arched. Watch the little tuck. You guys see that small movement? I'm gonna do it one more time. So here my abs are relaxed. Tuck. Okay, so that's what we want in all of our poses so that we protect our low back and really get into the core. All right, enough talking. Let's go ahead and alternate. Right arm, left leg, inhale and exhale. So you're just gonna switch. Alternate side to side. Just a breath. It's inhale, extend, exhale, back down, alternating sides. You should feel your body start to warm up here. Try to remember all those things. Keep moving as if you're balancing my tall cup of coffee that I was having this morning on your back, so you cannot let it fall. You can't lose any of the coffee. Or whatever your drink of choice is, tea, water. Okay, let's do one more on each side. Perfect. All right, so now let's go ahead and sit back into that nice, lovely child's pose. You're gonna first bring your knees a little bit wider, toes together, you're gonna sit way back. You're gonna bring your forehead to the mat. I'm using my block. I can't quite get my head to touch the mat, so I elevate the surface and the floor, and I bring it to meet me where I am at. So great option there. You can use a pillow to do that. So we'll take a few breaths in this child's pose, and you can always come back here if you just want to take a break after we start going through a little more of our work and flow portion. And just slowly walk your hands over to that right diagonal. So you should feel a stretch along the left side of the body. Maybe trying to meet your nose to your knee here. And then inhale back to the center. Exhale, just walk it over to that other diagonal. And let's try to keep our feet flat here. If we have really tight shins, that may be a challenge for us this morning. You could also place a pillow or a block under your hips if they're feeling extra tight. And then inhale, let's take it back to the center. And then exhale, we'll come back to that tabletop. We're just gonna gently lower onto our chest and our belly. So we wanna wake up our back as well. So just slowly make your way down. Nice and slow here. So we're gonna take our hands right underneath our shoulders, and our legs are about hip distance, or a little wider than hip distance. So keep your legs on the floor. As we inhale, we're just gonna lift that upper body, hands as well. And then exhale, we're gonna lower. So more of an extension movement. Inhale, we lift, squeezing those back muscles, and exhale, lower. Inhale, we lift, warming the back, exhale, lower. So let's try this 2 more times. Keeping your neck long, and exhale. 1 more time. Inhale, lift, Exhale. So we're going to try 4 more of those. And if you'd like the option, you're going to lift your legs along with your hands and your arms. So 4 more. Big inhale, lift everything off the mat. And if you're lifting your legs, make sure the lift is coming from your hips. So keep your legs straight and then exhale, lower. So again, that's just an option. Adding in the lower body, inhale and exhale. It is a little bit harder on that low back, but great way to strengthen it. 2 more, inhale. So again, listen to your body. Exhale. Last time, I'm feeling the heat build. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. All right, so we're in a perfect position to press ourselves up into a nice downward facing dog. So embrace your core, tuck those hips under, gently press up. Move your hands to the top of the mat, tucking the hips, take an inhale and exhale. When you are ready, find that downward facing dog. Perhaps your first one of the morning. My dog was doing them earlier, getting ready for class. Pedal out those heels. Holding that down dog. So hold that for a few breaths. This can be done on your knees or even on your forearms as well. If you like an extra challenge, maybe you lift up one leg and open up that hip a little bit. Maybe make some circles with your bent knee. And then switch and do the other side. So sort of make this down dog whatever you'd like. We're going to be here for just a couple more breaths. I want you to really relax your head and really think about pressing your chest towards your thighs. So we are making an upside down V with our body. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Let's do one more breath here. And we're breathing in and out through the nose throughout class now. Next breath, inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Nice and slow, maybe taking your hands away from the mat, right? But come to the top of that mat, forward fold, grab those elbows, relax your head, ragdoll. Imagine you were pulling yourself down to the mat and then sway side to side. Nice stretch for that low back, slight bend in those knees. And then release those arms. Inhale, we come up nice and tall. So grounding those feet into the floor. Arms lift up just like we did seated. This time those palms come together and exhale. We're gonna lower our hands down to heart center. Okay, so we're gonna come right to the middle of the mat. So you might not need to turn to face the screen. It's really up to you. We just wanna be right in the center of the mat. I'm gonna lift this up a little bit because we're gonna do a couple of standing stretches before we really get into our flow. Okay, so inhale, those arms come up. As we exhale, we're gonna drop that left arm to the side. You're gonna start to add a side bend here, reaching that arm up. So while we're here, go ahead and tuck those hips under. Start to pull and stitch that rib cage together. So big stretch here, over to that left side. Go ahead and press into your right foot and find a little more length here. And remembering the option with the shoulder, you could bend the elbow just a little bit. So one more breath, feeling a big stretch in that side body. Inhale, let's come back up, and exhale, same thing other side. So drop that right arm and then start to reach over with that left. So big stretch. And we're still keeping our shoulder and hips facing the front. We don't want to rotate them down. So big side stretch. Can you press a little bit more into that left foot? And with that exhale, find a little more space in that side body. One more breath. Good. Inhale, come back up. Let's just do it one more time to each side. Exhale, reach over. Maybe this time finding a little more length. So now this time my hand is now in the screen. So I've gotten a little bit more room here, a little bit more stretch. I'm able to reach a little bit further this time around. One more time, inhale. I'm gonna pull those abs in, exhale, drop that right, and reach over. Perfect, a little bit more length. Big, big stretch. 2 more breaths. Can you get an inch further? And then go ahead and pull those abs in, inhale up, and then exhale. Take those arms down. Great. Okay, so the next one is gonna be a little bit more with the shoulders. We did this about 2 weeks ago. So we're gonna find that cactus arm, which is almost like a goalpost. And as we inhale, we're gonna take those elbows back. We did this in a kneeling position. Take our elbows back. We lift up through the chest. We arch the back. And as we exhale, you're gonna bring your elbows in. You're gonna bend your knees a little bit, curl up into a little ball. We're gonna do that again. So inhale, lift, nice and tall. Maybe you come up to your toes. And then exhale, you bring everything into the center. I'm gonna show you from the side. Inhale, we lift. So you're really arching that back there. Exhale, we come into that ball, right? Elbows in. Perfect. Let's do a couple more. Excuse me. Inhale. And exhale. So think of opening up through the front part of the body right here as you inhale, right? And then exhale, we're sort of crunching and flexing everything into the center. Last one. Big deep breath. Inhale. Open up. And exhale. Great. And then come back to the center. Okay, so we got nice little stretch going on. We're gonna start to build a little more heat. You're gonna find the top of your mat. So for one of our poses today, if you are close by a wall, feel free to use it. I will demo doing the pose up against the wall. It's gonna be a triangle pose. So with that pose, you wanna think of like falling back into a wall. So feel free to do that with the wall if you have it close by. Just an option. If you want a little bit extra stretch. So we're at the top here, we're gonna reach our arms up, big inhale, and exhale, we're gonna float it down. So just let it all go here. Inhale, we find a nice flat back. We pull those shoulder blades together. We push our heels into the floor. Nice flat back, big stretch behind the legs here. Exhale, we lower. Let's step that right foot back, and let's lower to our right knee. Low lunge, untuck that toe, lift your chest, inhale, those arms come up, and exhale, hold. So holding those arms here in cactus where I will be, or even hands to hips, so your choice. So we're gonna hold this for a couple breaths, just getting into that hip flexor stretch. Continue to breathe, tucking those hips under, squeezing your glutes a little bit so we don't have all of our weight in our low back. Keeping the head and chest up. One more breath here. And then inhale, we take those hands down. Exhale, we're gonna tuck our toe. We're gonna lift that knee off the floor. We're gonna step back into, with our opposite foot, into our downward facing dog. So just a nice low lunge hip flexor stretch to start. Inhale, we come forward to our nice strong plank. So our first time doing plank in class. So I'd like you to start on your knees. If you haven't done a plank in a while or you're not as familiar, you always want to start from the ground up. So starting on those knees, tucking those hips, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. We're going to hold this for a couple breaths, just so you guys know. This can also be done on your forearms. So if you feel pretty comfortable here with knees on the floor and you want that extra challenge, you're going to lift those knees off the floor, but without moving your hips, right? So hips are slightly lower than your shoulders. We don't want them too high or too low. One more breath. I know, we want to get out of this. Exhale, those knees lower. And then using our arms, we lower our chest and our hips at the same time. So drop everything down, elbows back, flatten your toes. Inhale, here's our baby cobra, lifting away from the mat. Exhale, lower. Retuck those toes. Keep your elbows squeezed in, okay? We don't want to see elbows out to the side. Keep them squeezed in. Inhale, push up and back, down dog. So hold that there. We're just going to try to sort of perfect that flow a little bit. if it's been a while, or even if it hasn't, always good to come back to basics and work on our form. Let's take one more breath. And on your next one, you're gonna bend your knees and you're gonna step, maybe you're ready to hop or jump to the top of that mat. Forward fold. So let's move through this a little bit faster. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, palms come together and lower. So that same lunge with our other leg. Inhale, exhale, float it down. Hopefully you're feeling warmer. Inhale finds halfway flat back here. Hands are on your knees or your shins. And then exhale, we lower. We'll step our left foot back. Drop our left knee to the floor. Untuck your toe. Lift your chest. A little bit of balance here. Arms reach up, inhale, and exhale. So you choose where those arms go. So I just want to see your low lunge here. So watch, you want your hip, your knee, and your ankle in a nice straight line. So take a look down at that knee, make sure it's like that. Perfect. Can you guys press your hips a little bit more forward, get a little bit more of a stretch here? Very good. One more breath. A little bit of balance too, right? Pulling those abs in. So inhale, we take those hands down. Remember, tucking those hips under, keeping a nice strong core. Tuck that back toe, lift your knee off the floor, step right back to that downward facing dog. Maybe a couple steps. Okay, hold this here. Inhale, let's get ready for that plank. It is still Planksgiving. So we're gonna be in this plank for a couple of breaths. If you're not sure, start with your knees on the floor. Notice that my hips are slightly lower than my shoulders. That's where I want you to be. I want you to tuck those hips under now. Keep your head up. And then if you're ready, let's go ahead and lift our knees off the floor without moving anything else in the body. Hold it, I wanna see it. Let's hold it for 2 more breaths. Perfect, one more. Okay, heads up guys. As you exhale, drop your knees and then drop, there we go. Nice, Susan, drop your chest all the way down. Glue your elbows and arms to your rib cage. Yes, keep those feet flat. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Keep those elbows in, just go as far as you can. Nice, exhale, lower. Perfect. Keep those elbows squeezed in. Inhale, tuck your toes. Exhale, push yourself up to down dog. Okay, you can go back to child's pose and then up, or go straight up into it. Excellent. Perfect. Next time you can try more advanced version without dropping those knees, so that's up to you. One more breath here. Very good. And bend those knees, inhale, and exhale, walk or jump. Forward fold, and maybe each time you're finding that you're getting a little bit closer to the floor here, right? I'm feeling my body stretched out a little more. Inhale, reach up, that's the goal. Palms come together. Exhale. Okay, let's keep it moving. Inhale and exhale. Let it go. Inhale, halfway flat back. Really pull those shoulder blades together. And exhale. So this time a warrior 1 pose, right foot. It's gonna be a medium step back. Glue your heel into the floor. Lift your chest, inhale, arms up. Exhale, we hold. Maybe cactus, maybe hands on hips. I'll let you decide. So your back leg is straight, front knee is slightly bent in this warrior 1. We wanna square off our hips towards the front. So we're gonna hold this for about 2 more breaths. We'll go right into triangle pose. So we're gonna get ready to get a nice big twist. So as we inhale, we're gonna straighten that front leg. As you exhale, your arms are gonna come down. So left in front, right behind you, okay? So first take that hand, that back hand, bend your elbow and take your hand to your hip. Let's all just start here, okay? Inhale, you're gonna reach forward. You're gonna stick your hips out with that hand on your hip. And as you exhale, you're gonna start to rotate with the shoulder and elbow. Triangle pose. This other hand can just start at that knee. And so now we are twisting and rotating up to the ceiling. If you're feeling good here, now go ahead and extend your arm straight. stacking your wrist on your shoulder. If it's too much, you come right back to hand on the hip. So hold this here, slight bend in that front knee, but otherwise your legs are pretty straight here. So we'll start here. Next time we'll go to the wall. Let's hold it for a few more breaths. This one's tricky because it's a really big twist throughout the side body. Let's hold it for 2 more breaths wherever you are at. And then inhale, push into that back foot. Slowly pull yourself up. Use those core muscles on the side of your body. And then exhale, we release. Perfect. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, we're going to open right up to warrior 2. So you're going to open your hip, then your knee and ankle follow. Front knee bends down even further. And then arms come up. So with warrior 2, we want our weight in not just that front leg, but also our back, okay? Arms are strong. Shoulders down and away from our ears. Your gaze is over that middle finger of that front arm extended. Go ahead and tuck your core, tuck those hips under, right? Engage your core, straighten out that back leg. One more breath here. Inhale, let's cartwheel those arms down to the floor, popping your back heel off the floor, hands come down, we step right back, downward facing dog. And here we go again. So if you want that more challenging version, a full chaturanga without lowering your knees, you can follow me. If not, keep it to that first level. So we're here in the nice strong plank, maybe knees to the floor, hold it, and then exhale, we lower. Remember, your elbows go straight back. And then inhale, you move forward and up into upward facing dog. Or baby cobra. And then exhale, keeping those elbows back, lift up and back. Find that down dog, hold for a couple breaths. Or a child's pose. So the key with that is really your core and using your core. So down dog, I'm in child's pose. One more breath. And then inhale, let's bend those knees. Exhale, we walk or jump top the mat. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. So hold that forward fold. And then inhale, reach your arms up. Good deep breath. Palms come together and exhale. Okay, our warrior 1 and 2, other side in triangle. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Halfway flat back, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and then exhale, we lower. So we step our left foot back, medium step back, press your heel into the floor. Find your balance, stitch that rib cage together, inhale, arms up, exhale, hold. So warrior 1. Let's see it, hold it right there. So arms are either extended, cactus, or on your hips. We're gonna go into that triangle pose in just a moment. If you'd like a little more, you can interlace those fingers. Just have your thumb and pointer finger extended. So if your shoulders are feeling good today, you can try that. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, arms come down. So again, first starting by taking like a teacup. Take that back hand to your hip first. Even if you know your shoulders are not that tight, let's just start here together. Okay, inhale, reach forward. Your hips go in the opposite direction, that other hand, and then exhale. Lower that bottom hand, and now start to rotate with your elbow and your shoulder, twisting up towards the ceiling for your triangle. Then when you're ready, extend that arm up. Stack your wrist on top of your shoulder, and maybe you get a little bit lower. So this is where you're gonna imagine you're falling back into a wall, or imagine you're squished between 2 walls. So it's gonna really help open up your chest and your shoulders here. So hold for a few more breaths, and then next round, if you can, we'll try it up against the wall, and you'll see that difference. So let's do one more breath. Let's see the triangle pose. Nice, lifting away, lifting up rather than sinking down. And then inhale, we press into that back foot. Nice and slow, pull yourself up. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we open up. Warrior two. Open from your hip, knee, and ankle. We'll be really mindful of those joints there. So nice and slow. Hold this here, perfect. So I wanna make sure our torso is stacked right in the center, okay? We don't wanna be leaning forward or leaning back in this warrior two. Right in the center, shoulders down and back. Look down at that front knee, make sure it's right on top of your toes and not going in or out. Press into your back pinky toe. I want you to have weight in that back leg. One more breath. Ooh, feeling this one. And then inhale, we're gonna cartwheel those hands down. Take that back heel off the floor, cartwheel it down, step back, downward facing dog. Now you can go through this floor flow or of course find a child's pose. So inhale, we're in that plank. Exhale, we lower those knees, we lower our chest. Arms are glued to that rib cage. We flatten our toes. Inhale, lift, baby cobra. Exhale, lower, retuck. Inhale and exhale. Perfect. Hold your down dog. So you can make that more of a power movement if you like. And maybe as you go back up, actually go from the floor into a push-up, right? And then push back. One more breath, and we're gonna go through that again, second round. So inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, walk or jump, top of the mat. Forward fold, inhale, reach up. Palms come together, exhale. Okay, how are we doing, okay? Thumbs up. All right, we're gonna do that again. We know it's coming, we're gonna go through a little bit faster. When we come to the triangle pose portion, if you have that wall, we're gonna try it up against the wall. If you don't, you're just gonna practice your balance one more time on your mat, on your space. So inhale up, exhale, let it go. Inhale, lift halfway, and exhale. It's a good challenge up against the wall. Okay, step back with your right foot, warrior one. Inhale, lift. A little bit faster, exhale, hold. Option, interlace those fingers, reach your thumb and pointer finger. Be mindful of your body. Really straighten that back leg. Tuck those hips under, one more breath. Inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, those arms come down. So let's try it with our back arm extended. Okay, so inhale forward, exhale, find that triangle pose. So if you have that wall, go ahead and come a couple inches from your wall and do your pose up against the wall. When you start to open, lean back into that wall and try to get your fingertips, ooh, that's hard, to touch the wall. So we'll hang out here for a couple of breaths so you have some time to do that. It's great because you can really lean back. You're not going to fall, right? You're not going to go anywhere. So it's a really good tool to practice with. And you'll really feel where you should be feeling it in triangle pose, which really is your waist and your shoulders. Doesn't have much to do with the legs. So let's do 2 more breaths wherever we're at. If you are on your mat, take your bottom hand away from your leg. Ooh, let me feel those core muscles. Maybe that hand is still at that hip, but you're still opening. And then inhale, push into your back foot. Ooh, exhale, release. If you're against the wall, you can stay there, come back to your space. Big inhale, exhale, warrior two, open up. Hips, knee, ankle. Let's get a little bit lower this time. Ooh, so you should feel like you can get a little bit lower, hopefully. Inhale, flip your palm, we're adding on 1 layer. Exhale, peaceful warrior, because this is just a great stretch. Take your gaze up at your hand. 1 more breath, big stretch. Inhale and exhale, cartwheel those hands down. Awesome job. Step back, down dog. Listen to your body here. Inhale forward. You're on your tippy toes here. Exhale, knees. Keep your head up. Exhale, lower. elbows back. Back is flat, and then inhale, we lift. Baby cobra, exhale, keep those elbows back. And exhale up, down dog. Hold that there. Perfect. So just one breath, and we'll go right into that other side. So inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, walk or jump, forward fold. We're gonna keep it moving. Inhale, lift up. Palms come together. Exhale, same thing, other side. Here we go. Inhale to keep the heart rate up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice flat back here. Exhale, lower. Step back with your left foot. Warrior one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hold. Optional, interlacing those fingers and really extending through those arms. Back leg is straight. Can you press your heel a little bit harder into the floor? That back leg. One more breath. Inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, arms come down. So here's triangle on the other side. So find that space against the wall if you have it. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, twist. Rotating first from your core, so your rib cage, your chest, and then your shoulder. And then when you're ready, stacking that wrist on top of your shoulder and turning your head up towards it as well. You can challenge your balance a little bit here. If you're up against the wall, can you fall back into it? Do you feel that big stretch? Woof, hold that there. We used to do this at Felha, up against the wall. Hold it. I know Joanne remembers, she loved it. You guys look so good here. Ooh, nice chuck. Good, Margie, reach that arm up. 2 more breaths, so stay with it. Can you take that bottom hand away from your leg and just use that core? 1 more breath. In, a push into that back foot, slow. Woo, awesome, exhale, warrior 2. Last time in this warrior 2. Can you get a little bit lower? Take a few seconds to get there. If those hips are up a little bit, can we drop them down? Tuck those hips under, right? Core is always working. Can you straighten that back leg? Shoulders down, 1 more breath. Inhale, flip your palm. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Big side stretch here. Take your gaze up. Big stretch. 1 more breath. And then inhale, let's take it down. Exhale, heel comes off the floor. We step it back. And this will be our last time going through this sequence. So whatever version you'd like to do. Inhale forward to that plank. I'm gonna lower those knees, lower my chest. Glue your arms to that rib cage. Take your time, or speed it up. Maybe we'll add an extra push-up in there. And then we all find a down dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, walk or jump. Forward fold. We are almost done. Inhale, reach those arms up. Big deep breath. Palms come together. And exhale, lower. Okay? So our final pose, and it's a balance pose, but it's one we haven't done in a while. We're gonna come to the center of our mat, tree pose. Since we see all the beautiful trees and their leaves falling, it's really pretty. So you can do this close to a wall if you'd like to have some extra support for balance. So let's start with those hands on our hips. And this whole tucking of the hips is gonna really come into play, right, for this pose. Hands on the hips, tuck those hips under, okay? Start with the core. Let's go ahead and balance on our right foot first. So you're gonna bend that right knee slightly and lift that left foot off the floor. Okay, we're gonna open up from the hip, place your foot onto your heel. So we'll start here, and if this is even a little too much, you can have your toes or the ball of your foot on the floor. So hold here. Remember, we've opened up from our hip. Holding onto the wall, right if you need to. Right away, you're gonna feel this right glute. Okay, if you're ready, maybe you slide it up a little bit higher. Anywhere except for on the knee, okay? So if you want it even higher, we have to get above that knee joint and place it on the thigh. Ooh, it's a little hard for me. Okay, so hold this here. I want you to focus on one thing in front of you. So whether it's your computer or me inside the screen here, and then let's go ahead and take our hands to our chest. Continue to pull those abs in. I know we're feeling that standing leg. Hold this here. If you'd like to go a little further, let's extend our branches. Again, you can fall out of it, fall back into it. Maybe your legs are burning. And then let's shake those leaves off. So moving those branches. Can you add a little movement with your arms? Remember that standing knee is slightly bent. Hold it for about 2 more breaths. I'm just resetting here. This side's a little harder for me. Shaking those leaves off. 1 more breath. Bring those hands back to prayer and then slowly let go. Woo, shake it out. Let's do the other side. We'll finish with some stretching. Ooh, I felt that. Okay, so now we're balancing on our left. Slight bend. Remember here, tuck. Okay, so do that tuck first. I always start with hands on the hips. Open up that right hip. Toes to start. And then when you're ready, lift your foot off the floor and place it up against your ankle. So starting here. Maybe using that wall. Keeping your chest up. Maybe sliding that foot up higher. Maybe all the way up if you're ready to go. Take your time. Nice and tall. Imagine a piece of string on top of your head lifting yourself up. Hands to prayer. Keep your shoulders down. So wherever your leg is at, can we extend our branches? And maybe we start shaking off those leaves without our trunk moving, right? Because trees are really steady. So wherever you're at, let's try 2 or 3 more breaths. Remember that standing leg is slightly bent, okay? Nice and tall. Woo, 1 more breath. And then slowly bring those hands down and then go ahead and release. All right, excellent. So we'll process that again next week and I'll come take a look at you guys. So I just want to do it with you this time. Woo, very good. So let's come down to the floor. We're just about done. So nice and easy, make your way down onto the floor. We're going to come to a seated position first. I just want to sort of windshield wiper our legs from side to side while we're up in the seated position. So I'll show you from the side. Your hands are behind you. Your feet are about hip distance. You're just going to drop your knees from side to side. So this might be a little uncomfortable for your shoulders. We're going to do it on our back as well. Just going to be here for about 2 more breaths. Just dropping those legs side to side. Just 1 more opportunity to open up those shoulders. And then we're going to slowly come all the way down. So lower to your forearms, all the way down onto your back. Take those arms out to the side. Let's repeat, windshield wiper, same thing. Dropping those legs side to side. Allowing those hips and back to come off the floor. So just very slowly, side to side. And then let's go ahead and draw those knees into our chest. We're going to make circles in one direction. You can wiggle your toes here, circle your ankles. Reverse the direction of those circles. And then just hold right here. We'll find a happy baby pose for our back. So our knees come out to the side. We reach for our toes and the sides of our feet here. Extend those legs up. Maybe you find a straddle with your legs. Maybe you rock side to side here. Nice massage for the spine. And just gently bringing those feet back together, back down to the floor. And before we find our relaxation pose, I'll give you the opportunity to find an inversion. So maybe a bridge here, or a wheelbarrow if you're used to yoga or do that in your practice, maybe even plow. So I'm just gonna lift up into a nice bridge here, arms by my side, my feet are about hip distance. I'm gonna inhale, slowly lower down, and just do it one more time, and then we'll just relax for a couple moments. Lift back up into that bridge, and then lower back down. Once you're ready, just close your eyes and find whatever is relaxing for you. I like to lift my arms overhead just to get a little more stretch in the shoulders. Just close your eyes here for just a few moments. Bring it back to your breath that we started with in the beginning of class. And then slowly start to move your head from side to side. Go ahead and open your eyes. Slowly draw those knees back into your chest for one last time. And then let go. Slowly roll over to one side and gently press yourself up. We'll find a comfortable seated position to end class this morning. Inhale, reach those arms up. Big deep breath all together. Palms come together, and exhale. We lower those hands down to heart center, and we will say namaste to one another. Down and down. Thank you all for joining me this morning. It was lovely to have you. Please make sure to type in the chat box what site if you're an IFL member. And happy Friday.
Thanks, Ellen.
You're welcome. Hope I'll see you